now and then, Asmongold and his bunch have been having a little fun, like, because Trump will say something that's like, wait, what? And it's good. It's good. It's good that you guys do that. And a lot of you, you're pretty internet savvy, so you kind of know, like, dude, no, there's some pretty fucked up shit, bro. But one of the things, though, that I really got to kind of, I almost want to apologize ahead of time. Once, you see, as things go on with the Pentagon, as information starts coming out, people are going to be like, whoa, hold on. How did this even happen? How did these people all end up in the same place at the same time that this could happen? As these stories go on, it's going to be about probably a decade of just these disclosures and it will be that a lot of information will be out, but it'll just take a lot of time for people to process it, put it together in a format that you could kind of get an idea of what had happened. But there's going to be a lot of stuff that you're going to be like, oh God, oh God, please be real. This is why people got religious. The atheist thing and everything, and that people are like, oh, it's a grift, they get on the God pill. No. What started to happen, even like the kill stream, this started to happen. People were like, people were doing things on the kill stream, and yet, at a certain point, there was some stories, there were some things that would, it would play out that people that everyone in chat was just sort of sitting there like, evil's real, isn't it? Like, it has to be. This can't, what we're seeing has to be the manifestation of evil itself. And it got harder and harder for a lot of, real good internet cynical, skeptical people. They started to really have a hard time with this idea of there seems to be a pattern too. That they would see sort of the rise and fall of somebody on the internet or somebody in public life. And at a certain point, chat would say, evil's real, isn't it? And it changed everything. All Western politics has changed because of this. And without being there, without seeing it, you missed it. God pill is not a grift. For all the people who are performative, you got a performer. That means you got a band, you got a stage, you got people in the rafters. This takes an operation, and it takes belief. Because what really started to happen was, well, okay. See, I'm spiritual, but not religious. There was that stage. It would rise, it would fall. You would see where people ended up. And then at some point, you would hear, well, like, why does this person think this? And then they would have this ingenious understanding of how their Christian theology required them to think this, because that's just that and that anyone who would, like me, who I would have had some background in theology, little touch, I'm sitting there, I'm like, that's fascinating. I hadn't thought about that. Yes, there's this aspect of Christian theology that the world is the world. It operates according to the rules that the world operates according to. And more and more there was these things. This is actually, I get it. No, I get the spiritual, and it started to make more and more sense. The pattern, how it fit in harmoniously into Western thinking, Western life, and you could see why it was beneficial to people. So it started to become really uncomfortable. A lot of us, we still are. We're at that door. We're walking up and down those. It's only about 2 or 3 steps to a church usually. We're walking up and down those steps like it's Mount Athos. And we'll figure out how to get inside at some point. But it's but yeah, we're gonna work those stairs. But then there's a lot of people that they finally had to say it, where they were like, no, definitely there has to be, I just can't even stress that enough, that idea. And without seeing it, without being there, you would have missed it. And I almost could have. I don't know why I've gotten to witness the things I have in my time, and that somehow YouTube hasn't yeeted all this stuff. I'm absolutely astonished. This whole history, all kept on this channel, with all my vulgarities and coffee and shots up my nose, He puts this camera up his nose and then proceeds to walk around and sip coffee. Well, so I started thinking how now we're seeing everybody's having a ball watching Stephen Bonnell come apart, looking like he's going to get sued. Possibly he might really be facing some very serious charges of one sort or another. Possibly, I'm saying, I don't know the specific jurisdictions and all that. There's even a part of it I don't care, because there's a part of me that kind of wants to refuse to care, like in the sense of because I don't want to delight in something bad happening to him. That I really, that's not, because that's not good. Like everybody's lost. Like this young lady is humiliated. She probably has her own sort of personality troubles. But it's also, it's that, it's that thing about honor, in a way. She's kind of a laughingstock in her community now, and that's no good. There's only so social a person can get in their society when everyone's like, oh yeah, I saw, her, and Stephen Bonnell, years and years from now, and that's no good. And him, he's now going through this cycle of, he couldn't control his appetites. He's lost his honor. He might lose his freedom. And so then it's this thing of, and homie's already got problems with his marbles. None of this is good. And I know I know guys, but it sure feels good to see his ass get fucking lit up. Yeah, it does. It does, but it's also, this is evil's real. And it blights. It spreads a blight upon the spring blossom of a woman. It spreads a blight upon a man who's already in so much need of salvation from God. A paint you can't get off. unless you beg for a carpenter to help you with it. See, also the sins, Gen Xers, millennials, the Gen Zers, this idea of when you finally see people fall, but you haven't, and you're sitting there realizing, if I were the devil, I would be having a lot of fun watching me stew. Boy, I would like to sin. I shouldn't. I probably will. And so that problem, why can I not will myself to do what I wish to truly do? Why am I not really free? People don't realize where the right came from, questioning ideas that even, remember, it was like evangelical kids who turned to designer drugs and video games and fun, and blasphemous comic books and other nerd stuff, and came to a point at which at some point they were like, no, I see it now. I'm different. When I look at the world, shadow and light are not the same anymore as when I was not that much younger. And you realize evil is doing its work on you. Sometimes you could say, oh, it's just time. I'm just, whoa, that's cool. Whoa, that's the new Volkswagen van. Okay. You could say, oh, time is doing its job on me. It's just, but it's also that you get more jaded. Women delight you in ways that become more and more far from innocent. We start to fall from grace. And it's not that, well, we could save the next generation if we just have a king, say. No. There was too much of that kind of thing. People were, no, we have to accept humans are humans. It was really nice. The early new right. There was, it was really hard, challenging stuff you didn't want to hear, stats that you didn't want to know. And then there's that part of it that you'd be arguing with some dumbass like Destiny. And at some point, I was older enough that I'd be sitting back and I'm like, a lot of these people just really, really, really want the world to be much sunnier than it is. At some level, they just don't want to have bad vibes, man. They want to feel good vibes, man. Positive energy, bro. And you guys are, seem like these not positive energy bros, and but you started to, and because it was, they're positive energy bros, this means that they don't know much. They don't actually have knowledge. They're very young people. Just they don't have time to gain knowledge. It takes time for them. But then there was also a thing about the positive energy bros, debate me bro kind of guys, is, even though it was like a disagreement where it was this, why are you guys so negative? Why, kind of, it's not the veracity of what you're saying. No, I'm sorry. No, it's not like the truth value of your argument. Let's put it that way. No, it's that oh, I can't believe you're saying this because it's so negative, bro. It will make black people cry, well, nobody, what are you, some kind of, and then some insinuation of a moral flaw or ethical flaw, of some sort. And then after a while, it was like, you see, this is how tiresome not only they are, but they will always be this tiresome, because these are people that you'll meet throughout your life that they will never interact with the tough part of life, typically until they kind of fall. And they won't know, they're just not tough people. And the right, one of the things about this is not all of the right are tough guys, but a lot of people have gone through something quite real that's toughened them up. And that they realize, like, no, that's the reality of life, and unless I adapt to that's that. I'm going to have problems. This is going to be hard for me because I'm not adapting to reality. And that's why you even have intelligence, to adapt to reality. It was the Buddhists were even talking about, like, one of the problems with predestination of any sort is, well, then why are you able to think? These seemed like two things that would not work together in a fundamental metaphysics kind of thing, and they have a lot of really good insights like that. Well, if you're already predestined by a deity to do something like that or have this happen to you, why were you able to even think about it? So, which this is, yeah, and Christians who are listening to this, you'll find, yes, and this would be then this argument in Christianity about the human psyche and the ability to choose your course, your various courses in life. Anyway, there's some secrets that are going to be coming out about the government that a lot of people are going to be horrified by. And one of the big things is, who knew about this? That's the part that's going to mess with a lot of people. A lot of the left. A big part of what you guys are on about is kind of a like cult of personality. There's a lot of thespian, the love of the thespian, that makes your politics what they are. But I really guarantee you, as a lot of the CIA stuff gets declassified, JFK, Epstein, a big part of it is people are going to really be like, wait, I liked this politician, I believed in them, and they knew about this. When people really think they're going to go through this, mostly it's going to be with Barack Obama because of how recently he was president. People are going to be like, wait, he knew that? What kind of monster would not have told the American people this? That's what's going to happen. And it's going to shatter a lot of people's understanding of just reality, because they just won't believe, and they'll have to walk through this whole thing of, maybe he didn't know. Maybe it was for the best that he hadn't, that he didn't disclose this. It's gonna be bad. Oh my God, there's boys hacky sacking. Thank God the world's healing. Yes, hacky sack. I haven't seen that in a long time. I haven't seen anyone hack in a long time. So, so it's not all gloom. It's not all gloom. But there's really a lot of people who are like kind of, especially I noticed it with Asmongold. He has kind of an interesting variety of people who watch him. So it'll be kind of neat to see how. But there's going to be moments because I don't like this idea with. There's going to be moments he's going to be sitting back. Something's going to, he's going to find something out, say live on chat or live on stream. And it's going to be that way. He sits back, but there's really going to be like, just you could see he's truly like betrayed. That's the thing that really, when people are like, oh, MAGA, they're this way and their anger, blah, blah. No, you learn something that you know was denied or was never really disclosed, or you find out like, oh, you wouldn't even have this entire way that history went without this, and that you're sitting there like, but when I was taught about this, I was taught this, like, to understand the French Revolution, and then to walk through, like, and so from that point, here's what happened in France. And if you know about the negatives, you'd be sitting there like, why would anybody think this was a good idea? Why would anybody think that this was a success? No, this was awful. This sounds terrible. And but you wouldn't know that if you were, say, from my generation, raised on the West Coast. It's like all the boulangerie places and Le Car and Le Bag and all the French Perrier and French. France so cool. Everybody would go to France, and stuff. And and I was always kind of sitting back like, oh, okay, it seems pretty cool. Then you learn about the real history of the French Revolution. You're like, oh, wow. And that makes you then understand how revolutions aren't from the bottom up. They're from like a middle portion of society and down. Oh, that's awesome. Oh, my neighbor's starting to run. See, I need to start exercising again. I'm starting to get too pudgy. I need to run. It'll be better for me. Well, I like jump roping. I like jump roping and hacky sacking. That's my thing. I love doing that. I used to. I don't do it as much. But yeah, so that was just, yeah. So it's not going to be, it's going to get worse kind of thing, but no, there's going to be like information that's going to come out just about like because, okay, the last Trump administration, a lot of stuff got declassified that was, I know. Here's one that might randomly. The Gorgon. The Gorgon is the fusion experiment that we're doing, and it's because of the way that it's shaped. It's got a head with a hub with these other things coming off it, the Gorgon. Bruce Orr's father is the guy who works on the Gorgon. Bruce Orr, you guys will remember probably from some shitty business that they tried to frame up Trump with. I forget which one it was. But yeah, so, and when you find out, wait a second, so his dad was recruited by the government, then he has a job with the highest levels of the government. And you see, it's going to get like that. Because the devil likes nepotism.